Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tony Pellegrino with GenRight Off-Road, and this is part of a live tech talk we do every Tuesday and Thursday. Today being Tuesday, August 31st. End of the month, man. Time flew by, huh? We're here to talk about your favorite subject and mine, Jeeping, how to build Jeeps, everything Jeep related, right? We got a special show for you today. We're going to be talking about our Bowtie TJ with our Legend coilover suspension. I want to make sure that in the scheme of things, we step back a little bit and reflect on how successful this Jeep has been over how many years, and really a great platform. And if you're on a budget, you can pick up a TJ super cheap these days. So we've got all kinds of stuff to talk to you about related to that. As always, I welcome your questions and comments. So please just type them in. And I've got Debbie here to read those off. Jamie's here in the studio with me, and Alex. So we've got our best top-notch A-team here to help me out today. I appreciate that. If you like this program, please share it. Hit that share button with your friends. I'd greatly appreciate that. We'd like to get as many people aware of this program as possible. Today, we've got a couple feature products we're going to talk about. There's your questions and comments. Feature products. Hopefully it's, well, okay. Yeah, this will work. JK half doors. You guys have been waiting patiently. The first orders shipped over the last 2 weeks. So I'm happy to tell you that they are in stock and shipping now. They built a whole bunch more today. So just call in, get your order in, and they are immediately available. So we also now order just the two fronts, just the two rears. So if you do have a two-door, you can order those right on our website or call in. The guys will be happy to help you. Comes with all the mounting hardware. They do not include the hinges. The hinges are optional because you have the option to use your factory hinges or pick up some new factory hinges, but we offer a billet hinge. So next thing, actually I have one. Where's that other slide, James? Is it? I
didn't do the slides.
Okay, well, we have one more cool thing to talk about, and maybe Alex can swing the, yeah, we've got all of our hood louvers. So whether it's the full hood louver or the little multi-piece hood louvers, all of our hood louvers are on sale right now, 10% off, and you can get those ordered up right now. You can call in or order online. This sale will be good between now and next Monday. This is part of a Labor Day sale that we're rolling out. So go ahead and
try something right now.
Okay, try it. Let's see what we got. Oh, hey. You're gonna show them the slide right from there? It won't change here, but it might change there.
Hey, Tone.
Yeah.
Zach Guptill asked if the TJ half doors are in stock.
TJ half doors are in stock. Yeah, I saw a ton of those in the warehouse. So we've got, and the bags and all the stuff that goes with them. So
cool.
Jeff's our resident TJ expert. Give him a call, and he'll be happy to help you out. I don't know how Debbie ended up way over there today. Sorry about that. I'm supposed to be looking over here.
Leaf Baron asked, what vehicle will replace Chaos LJ?
What vehicle? Wow, that's a good question. I don't know to answer the question. However, here in the studio, maybe Alex could do a 180. This is what I've been working on today. High fenders, LJ, this is an LJ. This will get the tracer kit, carbon fiber hood. This is my next project. But we're also going to talk about this one here today. So we got lots of cool stuff to talk to you guys about. And over the last couple weeks, Alex and I have been shooting a whole bunch of new videos that I think everybody's going to find interesting. So I know that they're editing those and getting them going. So Anybody else notable you got on there? Do we have all our regulars? Is
Oh
Kelly
yeah, we
watching?
got Oh
Tell me
heck yeah,
Kelly's on.
Kelly's on. Cord Killinger's on.
Nice.
Stephen Horsch is on.
Nice.
Steve Waterman, Corey Horton, Zach Guptill,
Cool.
BB Tom, Leaf Barron,
Awesome.
Tim
What about Peter?
Cahill.
Any Peter?
I haven't seen Peter yet.
Peter Tommy Dykstra?
I haven't seen Tommy yet.
What?
Come on, boys.
Yeah, come on, boys.
Get your priorities
We'll give him a
straight.
couple minutes to go.
What job?
Probably trying to make a living. Yeah, I'll cut him some slack. All right, I'm gonna flip back through here because I want to get to what's gonna start today's Tech Talk, which is our Bowtie TJ. Purchased in May of 2009. I picked up a completely bone stock Jeep Wrangler TJ, and this had 36,000 original miles, 6-cylinder automatic, excellent condition. You can see it's like flawless, right? We took this, loaded it with all the parts to build it into a GenRight Jeep, which put it on the bump stops. And I picked up Jordan from school. It was his last year of 6th grade. And he and I drove all the way to Tennessee to drop it off so that Ian on Extreme 4x4 TV could build it. So lots of history with this vehicle.
And the funny thing that I will never forget about that trip is loading you guys up, and you drove. You didn't pull a trailer. You just literally bolted all the GenRight parts on the outside of the Jeep.
Stuff bolted to the front. And
You had the rocker guards like bolted to the back bumper,
Yep.
and you had shit all.
And the inside was stuffed.
I didn't care about the zip.
It was
Yeah,
hilarious.
there was lots of zip ties.
It was so funny,
Yeah.
and
It
they
was
had the
packed.
best time. They
And
got
then, on
they
the
got
way,
chased by
We
tornadoes.
got chased by a tornado. So I don't know if you've ever driven cross country. I didn't think this was very funny, but we're listening to the radio and that little thing comes on. Well, we've driven through, I don't know, 10, 12 states, and it's like such and such county is issuing a tornado warning. I'm like, well, that's great. What
We
freaking
don't know
county
where
are
we don't
in?
know where that is.
I can barely even tell you what city or town we're near, let alone county. So sure enough, I look out the window, and right about then, as I go to look out the window, I notice that the plastic is flexed in and practically touching my face. And sure enough, the tornado was just off to our left. So being the guy I am, I just pinned it, and we outran that bad boy. So yeah, that was the extent of our fun story headed on the way there. So the slides didn't load in order. I'm going to apologize right now. So I'm just going to talk about them as we go. Part of the reason that I'm talking about the Bowtie today is that Debbie and I just took it on a trip where we flat towed it with the RV out to a location and then drove it 250 miles a day. So it is still a very roadworthy Jeep. Here is Ian took about a year to finish it, but he built the cage, did everything on it, and they called it the Dual Sport TJ. So if you have the ability to go back in the archives of Extreme 4x4 TV, somewhere online, super fun to be back there hanging out with him. And right after this photo, we loaded up and went four-wheeling, which was pretty cool too. So that Jeep came home with us, and later you can't really see who's behind the wheel there, but that's Jordan. And this is, because it was an automatic, this is the Jeep that Jordan learned how to drive out at the Hammers. Those are Hammers Rocks. And did a great job. Obviously that worked out well. He's become quite a driver since then. So there's a little bit more to the story. Ian originally built it with different axles and on coil springs and stuff. That later got changed out for our whole Legend suspension. But I'm just going to kind of go through it. So here you can see the coil springs, and he had some Crane diff covers on there, and reed knuckles and all kinds of stuff. So RCVs. It was really a pretty cool Jeep. And I actually left it on the East Coast with Max Dollinger at Moab 4x4, and that was pretty cool. He did a bunch of stuff for me on that too. So there's Jordan driving out at the Hammers. He was just a little kid back then.
He was a little rugrat.
Yep. And all he had driven prior to that was RC cars. So you can see the bow tie's all polished up, and we called it the bow tie. In case you didn't notice, it actually is an acronym for something that Kelsey, one of the gals that work for us, came up with. But it's the kind of Jeep that you could take your wife or girlfriend out and valet park for a nice evening out. So we kind of called it the bow tie, like you'd wear your.
I didn't know Kelsey came up with that.
She's the one that came up with that. See, you're learning something.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's on too. All right. We commonly loaded this Jeep up. I've recently showed you guys the little rack we have back here to load everything in here. We have packed this thing and driven it on many camping trips. The vehicle now, just on this trip that Debbie and I were on, just turned 90,000 miles. So we've put about 60,000 miles on it, and it has really been a great Jeep. So this is obviously after we've converted it over to our full Legend kit with King coilovers and everything. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, actually, this is a great picture. Debbie might remember this. This is when Debbie raced it in the wet lap.
Oh yeah, and I dominated.
This is like one of the few pictures I have of Debbie driving.
Was I with Jane? Was that
you
with
were?
Jane?
And
yeah.
I can tell you, she drove the wheels off this thing. I'm not sure it was ever the same after that.
Oh, come on now.
I think she's seen all the Pellegrino boys pinning it, and she's like, I can do this. Let's go. So yes, very fun picture, and I saw this today, and I thought this would be perfect for the show. Have we got any questions so far? We do.
Clint Goss said, "Holy cow, Tony was young."
Thanks, Clint.
Let's see. Brian half doors. Do the half doors have factory latches included?
They do. It's a factory style latch, right? It's actually an aftermarket made latch, but it's the factory style. And they bolt in, they're kind of recessed in, and there's a little cable that goes over and actuates the latch mechanism on the factory little door catch, if that makes sense. Super nice product. I don't know if you ever saw the video of the JL1s closing. They sound totally factory. Remember, those are the 3/16 thick, beautifully made. Very high quality, and you can even add the rubber edging from the local auto parts store on there to make them even more water and airproof. So what else you got, Deb?
Let's see, something about, I'm just trying to find the customer.
And that carbon fiber hood looks good from over here.
Aaron Tromley, what axles are in the TJ?
In the TJ now, so I upgraded to Curry Rockjock 70s in anticipation of putting a V8 and stretching this thing more. This has always kind of been a pet project for me, this vehicle. I was actually going to put what they called a short star in it, which is the Cadillac 6-cylinder. I wanted to do it in stages because I like driving this Jeep so much. It drives so well on the highway that I wanted to figure out, did I really need V8 power, or could that really do? This Jeep's no speed demon, I'll give you that. It's got the factory straight six in it, but it will do the speed limit, like no problem. So because it's got 538 gears in there with 40-inch tires, it's perfectly like it's back to stock. So it really does fine on the road, and gets decent mileage. Debbie and I were driving tons and tons of miles, and it burned like 13 gallons. So
yeah, and you adjusted the shocks a little bit, and it was a really nice ride.
Really nice ride.
Yeah.
So very happy with that. But yeah, Curry Rockjock 70s in it right now. Yep.
Stephen Horsch asked if it's a stock wheelbase.
No. So this is one of the vehicles that If you remember, or if you've ever been on hold to hear our hold music, it's all about the Magic 100. So a long time ago, I figured out that as you went on bigger tires and you got lower gears, you needed to have a longer wheelbase. So the premise of GenRight was buy one of my gas tanks, be able to stretch your wheelbase. And what was really cool about this vehicle, let me see if I got another picture here, is that it's got a full rear flare. Okay, where, you know, a lot of guys can comp cut it or do whatever. This had the full rear flare. So this is actually a picture from this current trip. You can see it's got Mickey Thompson MTZs on there. This thing ran great. This is this is at Montezuma's Castle.
Oh.
Yeah, so pretty cool. We were out sightseeing, having a good time, checking everything out. Here's another view of it. You can see that Rock Jock 70. I don't know how zoomed in you are. Rock Jock 70, worn winch, factor 55, Vision X lights on it. Originally, this was built with high fenders, but we changed it back. We had a leftover hood around here that we just painted and threw on here. By the way, this is a little kit we offer that I don't even know if we have on the website, Jamie. The hood latch delete plate.
I don't know.
So because I did hood pins on this one, so we got rid of the side hood latches. But this has got our LED side marker light kit and everything on there. Again, we don't talk about this Jeep much, so it's kind of a nice thing to be able to recap that.
Zach Guptill again, is the carbon fiber hood a pretty good option for running high fenders? I'm not sure about cutting the hood when I get that far.
So you're gonna love this video that we're just about to come out with because I was showing how to cut the factory hood, and then I said, but we opted for the carbon fiber hood that's already made for high fenders. So the carbon fiber is also available in a lower cost fiberglass, and it's also available in a standard version. So what I showed you just a minute ago was the high fender version. It's absolutely beautiful. It is a heat reduction, you know, like the old AV hood that's not available anymore. And super lightweight, really, really nice. So they're on our website. You can find them right now. You can just go to the search box, type in hood. Everything we have available will come up. So check that out. Yeah, and that's TJ and LJ. All right. So like I said, we flat towed it behind our motorhome. I've got my little tow lights on there. I just use the magnetic style, works great, and super easy to do because this vehicle still has the factory transfer case. So as you know, the factory transfer case still lubes while it's spinning. So super easy for us to just hook it on the tow bar. And by the way, if you don't know this, every GenRight bumper, well, I should say, if it's got the steel toe points, so JK, JL has steel toe points, even though it's an aluminum bumper, but like we've got on the Bowtie, if I go back one picture here, you know, it's got the steel bumper. These toe points are all rated for flat towing. So you can just get the standard Blue Ox or Falcon or whatever brand tow bar you have with the 7/8 or 875 pins, and they'll hook right in and you're going. So pretty nice feature on the GenRight bumper.
Aaron Tromley chimed in. I used all GenRight parts to do my TJ. Nice. I run 37s with GenRight 4-inch flares.
Perfect.
And Charlie Tango, what is the ideal axle length and wheelbase length for 37-inch tires?
So let's see, a long time ago when you stayed on on coil springs and you want to run 37s, if you called Dynatrack or Curry, they'd sell you a 63.5-inch wide axle. That quickly turned into 65-inch wide because we wanted to run a deeper backspace wheel. Then we shifted that into 67-inch wide because we wanted to go to coilovers. Today we run 70-inch wide. So what you're looking at here is 67 inches wide on this vehicle. Because the TJ platform is more narrow, but if we were to build this today, it would have a 70-inch wide mounting surface to mounting surface. And then you run a deep backspace wheel. You can actually, I don't know if you can see this or not, Alex, but the wheels are so deeply backspaced that the ear on the knuckle almost touches the rim. So these are probably a 4 3/4 or 5-inch backspace. This is a very deep backspace. So, and then the wheelbase on this is 100 inches. So, and that, by the way, for a 37-inch tire is perfect. 100-inch wheelbase is what you want. And then, of course, you want to keep it as low as possible so that your center of gravity isn't too high. And this setup right here is perfect for on and off road. Like I said, we drove it hundreds of miles, super easy, and with the automatic, reliable.
So tying right into Charlie's previous question, VB Tom asked if 37s were too much for a stock YJ wheelbase on Dana 44s.
So, okay, so stock YJ wheelbase is going to be 93 inches. That is short. Because what's going to happen is you're going to gear down the axles, you're going to gear down the transfer case, and you are going to have a tremendous amount of torque. So now everything you want to climb is going to feel like the thing is like coming over backwards. So it matters more to move the rear axle back than it does the front axle forward. So that's when we started offering the 5 and 7-inch stretch so that you could get to that 100-inch wheelbase. So if you do the 5-inch, what you do is you move the rear axle back 5 inches and you move the front axle forward a couple inches. If you do the 7-inch, you can do it all in the back or a little bit more in the front, and then you're at 102. So the minimum you want to be on 37-inch tires, if you really want to wheel, is going to be a 100-inch wheelbase. And if you haven't gone out to Moab or any one of those places where they're kind of the iconic trails, you're going to find that stuff is steep and you are going to feel sketchy, and that's the only thing that's going to make you feel a little bit more planted. So we've got lots of information about our gas tanks, about why you need to stretch on our website. Call in, talk to my guys. They'll be able to advise you what to do, how easy it is, and you can kind of go from there. More questions?
Yeah, we've got several that are off topic, so I'm just trying to pick.
Keep going. Okay, well then I'll keep going, or do you want to?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we flat towed it, super easy, great way to go. A lot of people don't realize that. Again, this is just another shot of us cruising it around from National Park and State Park, different places we went. Thing just ran great. Here's a shot of it, just ripping on the street. Again, without the top on. One of my favorite vehicles to drive, just super easy. We've got some PRP seats in there. Here's a shot of when I picked it up from Ian. He and I went wheeling, so that was one of those things. This again was after Ian built it with these axles. He wanted to use some junkyard axles. He was trying to make it a low cost all around what he called a dual sport build. So this is out in Moab. This is a pretty cool shot. And then this is our website, but we don't need to talk about that. Let's see, hopefully we've got, this is our galleries. Everybody's seen that. Let me see. Oh, that's all we had for pictures on the Bowtie. So what I wanted to do now is, actually I'll just leave that there. What I wanted to do now is spin around and talk about the Jeep. So after we dropped it off in 2009, it came back out to the West Coast in 2011. And that's when we converted it over to the ledge of suspension that it sits on now. Since then, obviously Jordan learned how to drive in that. It's become a staple in our GenRight fleet of Jeeps, and is daily driven still today, and really a great Jeep. So I wanted to show you guys a couple of things that was like the way we did it way back in the day and what I would do different now. So, and Deb, just chime in with questions as you've got something applicable.
Okay, well, I've got lots of questions.
Okay,
They're
yeah.
technical questions. I'll start with the first one. Louis Padilla, he's got the GenRight rear tire carrier, and he's had consistent sagging problems. What do you recommend he do about that?
So are we talking swing down or swing out?
He didn't, I don't think he specified.
Okay, so maybe he can, but what happens is the urethane can deteriorate over time, and I don't know if he's in a particularly hot climate or.
My guess would be swing out.
If he's got really heavy tire, or if he's added a high lift jack and some other stuff on there, I would need to know a little bit more. That is unusual, but you could call. Or right on the website, you can order brand new urethane and put those in there. And I believe today's durometer, which is the hardness of the urethane, has been upgraded a little bit. I don't know how long you've had the tire carrier, but you might find that the newer bushings would work better for you.
And we do have a very detailed video on our YouTube about that. And make sure your hinges are in the right spot, like you didn't put the bottom hinge with the slot on the.
Yeah, that's another good point. So Jamie's talking about on the two hinges, one is slotted, and that's supposed to be the top one. But sometimes, they can be interchanged, and people put the non-slotted one on top, and that means you can't adjust it. So the tire carrier is designed with a range of being able to adjust out that sag, right? We anticipate that because we know when you put the tire in, it could be 150 pounds. So double check that. What he was also recommending is that we have two videos over on our YouTube channel. One is tips and tricks on how to fine tune your tire carrier. By the way, it should open and close without you having to lift it, without you having to do anything. The pins should come out nice and easy. I show all of that on that video. The other one is how to install it, and that's where we go through all of the detail about put the slotted one on top. But we've got tons. I mean, there's over 1,000 videos over on our YouTube. So virtually, if you can ask a question that we haven't already shot a video about, I'd be absolutely surprised. So check it out, and if you still don't find the answer you're looking for, feel free to email me or one of my guys some pictures of your actual setup, and maybe we can help troubleshoot your particular one.
Ben Calcara, what lift and tire size do you recommend for the Gladiator?
So the Gladiator is so long that I think it looks right on 42s, and that's a big tire, so that means you got to go crazy big axles, upgrade the drive shafts, and then you're probably looking at I would go with like a 4-inch lift. I wouldn't go super high, but then it becomes a pretty capable vehicle. Even on 42s, that rear end's going to be digging in. That overhang really gets you. So a lot of the guys that are serious about wheeling have bobbed the bed like 12 inches, and then they're super happy with it. And we have lots of those pictures, I think, on our gallery section.
What, of the Bob
of the Bob Gladiator, like the one from Sin City and some of the other ones are all in there.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jamie's confirming. What else you got?
Jeremy Lawley, it's a lengthy question. Just upgraded to 37-inch Mickey Thompson Bajas.
Nice.
From 36 TSLs on my LJR, running GenRight Highlines with the hood and inner fenders, but I'm having some rubbing issues with up travel now with the 37s. Stock wheelbase with 2-inch lift and 1.25 body lift. Assuming I need to stretch the front to fix this issue without adding a ton of bump stops. What GenRight front stretch and steering do I need to fix the rubbing?
Yeah, I would. So that's a Rubicon. You can switch over to our high steer package and our twisted pitman arm. That'll give you the ability to push that front axle forward 4 inches, up to 4 inches. That would require our 3-link front bracket kit, and then you could build some control arms to get the stretch that you want. You could still leave it on coil springs, but I would just switch it over to coilovers at that point, and you'd be a lot happier. Depending on where it's rubbing, it sounds like it might be rubbing in the back versus the top, because Andrew had no lift on his, and he was able to run 37s, and you can see that Jeep on our gallery section under LJ's, or call in and talk to Andrew. He's here, he's across the street, and available to chat right now, and might have some additional ideas and insights for you, because that's exactly the way he ran it with the 44s for several years. So check that out. All right, what else you got?
Charlie Tango, what are your thoughts on the Thor cold air intake?
I like all the cold air intakes. I think the Thor is the one that goes into the cowl, and originally that's how this Jeep was built. My only problem with that was the air filter was really tiny. So we ended up swapping that out for a K&N that you'll see in a second. But yeah, I like cold air. It absolutely is a huge improvement. And you don't realize that everything that's warm, as soon as it gets warm air, it's taking timing out, and your vehicle is an absolute dog. So you want the coldest air you can get, for sure. That's why if you look at like Terremoto, it's got that giant scoop right into the giant air cleaner, and I'm just pulling. I mean, it's forced in cold air, so that's a really good setup. What else you got, Deb?
Okay, yeah, Jamie's got some from.
Junior Del Giorno said, "I miss your old red YJ."
Ah, well, Junior, I don't know if you've
You're
noticed,
in luck.
but Jamie brought that Jeep back to life, and it's now stretched like a Tracer LJ, 115 inch.
But it's still a YJ.
And it's still a YJ, and it's called Growler 2.0, and it's also in our gallery. It's still the beautiful candy apple red. He did a fastback cage in it. He put a brand new LS3. I don't know, that thing's like 600 horse, you know, with a 4L80. You know, it's fast, it's good.
Turbo 400.
And Turbo 400. And he from Maximum, right? You did the Maximum.
From Maximum.
And then, I didn't realize you did the 400. Then he did the Curry axles, the 70 rear and the 60 front with house steering. I mean, it's all tricked out. IPs, everything. You should check out the gallery, and if you like the old one, you're really gonna like this one. So.
And then Justin Brown, recommendation for an LJ, seat brackets for PRP Enduro seats in front.
We happen to have one right here. So GenRight makes a completely adjustable, so you can move the brackets up and down. You can tilt them front to back. This bolts right into the factory location. It's got seatbelt hookups. This is a super nice, they're sold as a pair. They're heavy duty. And these are literally made for the PRP seats. So super nice that they fit a lot of the aftermarket seats, but this is what you're looking for. And I think
Do those keep the sliders?
they do keep the sliders. So pretty nice. I'll hand that back off.
Yeah, I don't know how much that.
We got a lot of wheelbase questions today.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm all about the wheelbase.
Larry White wants to know what the stock wheelbase is on a two-door JK.
Two-door JK is 96, I want to say. It's a little longer than a TJYJ, but it's not 100, I can tell you that. So, and I don't know, is that Larry White that had the flamed hood TJ or YJ from years ago? What's it say?
95.5.
95.5, so 96. How's that for you? All right.
Chuck Williams, what are your thoughts on optimum stretch on an LJ with 42s or 43s?
Yeah, okay, now you're talking my language. This is 100% the reason why we built our Tracer kit, and that you can see on a Jeep like our Silver Surfer that's also in our gallery on our website. He's on 42-inch Goodyears. That's a true 42, not these other ones that say 42 or 43 and they're really a 41. True 42, 115 inch wheelbase. That's 1 inch less than a 4-door JK, but you've got a better approach and a better departure angle, and it's 4 inches more narrow. So it is literally the optimal vehicle. And that's why we're selling the daylights out of those, because that is such a optimum build right now. And that's what I'm doing over here. So that's what's next on the docket. What else you got?
Wally Sheeta, do you sell a complete LS conversion kit for the TJ LJ?
Ah, Wally, long time no talk to. He's out in, where is that? Grand Junction, Colorado. Awesome. Good to see you're watching. We've got a couple of options for you. If you want kind of a off-the-shelf kind of a thing, I'm going to recommend Bruiser Conversions. They do a great job of integrating with all the factory windshield wipers, instruments, heater controls, the rest of the systems within the Jeep. And then he's got options for you on what tranny you could run. And you can run everything from like a Junkyard 5.3 all the way up to an LS7. He's got a lot of talk to Jeff or one of the folks out at Bruiser Conversions in Tampa, Florida. So you can do a quick search for them. And great guy, one of my friends, and an absolute Jeep enthusiast just like you and I. So, all right, what else you got?
Do we make JL louvers?
JL louvers. We do not make a specific one-piece louver like this, but what we do is the 2- and 3-piece hood louvers that are universal that you can easily put on. So this is designed, and by the way, these are, because they're aluminum, they're very flexible, and you can just, literally put the first 2 rivets in and tie it down to the hood. And what you do is you just cut a few holes underneath this without destroying the ribbing in the hood. And then you put these further toward the back, because what happens is the air comes in and it gets trapped in the back corners. So that's really where you want the air to be able to get out. And these whole hood louvers became popular, but my preference is still this style. These work really, really good. So, but yeah, those are something that are available right now, and they are on sale in this discount that we're offering
starting tonight,
right now. Yeah, it's on. So.
VB Tom, what rear flares would be best for the 7-inch YJ stretch?
Okay, so Jamie on the Growler 2.0 is running what we call our EXT, and this is what we call the 1030, TFR 1030. So it's a full 4-inch wide flare, that in standard configuration. So those are the two. Oh, I guess he hasn't put them on yet. Yeah. So somebody on there's got Kelly's got them on the Silver Surfer. You can check those out. So what it is it's kind of a modified comp. So it comes up, goes across, and then it dips down a little bit just to give you a little bit of coverage in the back. And that's a great option. By the way, those flares are all designed to bolt on. So that's Jamie's plan, is he's going to drill and tap his corner guards, and then when he gets to a tight section, like if we go out to Parker or one of those kind of areas, then he can pull the flares off, let the body squeak by without actually hitting the flare. So great option. Okay.
Casey Sargent, on the 2-door JK, can a guy use just your 4-link kit and fuel cell to stretch their Jeep?
You can. In fact, I saw in production today, we call that our Extreme kit. It's the same as the Elite kit for the 4-door, but the Extreme kit is the 2-door version of that. And I saw those in production right now. I know we've got some of those sold, but I think there's still a couple left available. I'd call in and talk to the guys about that. I don't know that we've ever split that kit up, but just talk to one of my sales guys and they should be able to help you out and maybe get you what you need. But it's a huge upgrade. The downside with just doing the the double triangulated 4-link rear is you can't run the flat belly. So you should really figure out a way to get our front cross member in there so you can run that flat belly skid. That gains you 3 inches of ground clearance. That's like adding a 6-inch taller tire. So just word of the wise, do it or don't.
David Mork, should I stretch my LJ? How much should I stretch my LJ with 37 to 40-inch tires?
So you got a couple of options. You could do our Legend kit, and our Legend kit is what we call a builder's kit. So you can make that whatever you want. Now we offer our rear corner guards for the LJ in a no stretch, in a 5-inch stretch, and then the tracer. Okay, so you've got a few options you can do there. Now a 37, 5-inch stretch, that's going to put you at 108. And you could do a little bit in the front and get to like 110. You'd be set on 37s. That'd be a great wheeler. Once you go to 40s, you really need to do the tracer style and get yourself up to 115. Or what you're going to find is, depending on who you're wheeling with, you're going to get on those harder obstacles and it's going to feel super sketchy. At 115, it's planted and you don't feel like you're going over backwards. We've determined that is the ideal wheelbase. So on 40s. What else?
Charlie Tango, 2005 LJ. What is the ideal axle length on Dana 44s for 37-inch tires?
So that's kind of an interesting question. So factory Dana 44 in an LJ was 62.5 inches wide. Okay, so that means if you want to run a 37, you're going to have about a 3.5-inch backspace wheel without getting into everything. We don't run 3.5-inch backspace wheels anymore. We run 4 3/4, 5-inch. We want a lot more backspace, which reduces your scrub radius. We've talked about this many times. And if you missed that tech talk, you can go back and watch it over on Facebook or YouTube. But that scrub radius is what keeps the tire in contact. The moment that you put an offset wheel on there, it's got this huge swing to it, and that swing breaks traction. You move the wheel in, and it's pivoting over the bearings. You don't break traction. So you can see if you ever get a chance to go to Potato Salad Hill or out on Pritchett or somewhere at Johnson Valley and just sit and watch people, and you see some people make it right up and you see other people that just struggle. It's the little details. It's the amount of anti-squat. It's the amount of scrub radius that aren't super obvious. Now, if I was standing there, I could tell you, oh yeah, here's all the different things, but it's not just about bolting all the right parts on the vehicle. That they have to be integrated in the right manner. You can't just, put all this stuff together. It doesn't work like that. So, what else?
Jamie's got some questions.
2006 Wrangler LJ. The Jeep came with a 3.5-inch lift. The back tires rub. So his first question is, should I cut the rear fenders, and what's the best rear flare? And then, or should I lower the bump stops?
So personally, for me, I wouldn't go any more lift, right? That's plenty. If you do our tube fenders, right now your fenders are real fat and thick. Get rid of those things. Open up the fender well based on how big a tube fender. By the way, one of our tube fenders fits a 40 easy. So your 37s would, never touch inside there. And you also get the ability, when you put the fender on, you can slide it a little forward or back and then trim a little more off the front or a little more off the back, whatever works for your particular. Basically, it gives you the ability to center the flare over the wheel. And I've always liked that. A lot of the time when they do a lift kit, the wheel looks like it's too far forward in the fender well. That bugs me. I like it nice and centered. So check out our tube fenders.
And then one more.
Sure.
2004 LJ.
2004
4.0 on 37s. What gears would you recommend?
That's going to be 513 would be But 488 at the bare minimum, but 513 would be ideal.
Okay.
So the question was 37s on a 4 liter, and actually it doesn't matter whether it's a 4 liter or a V6 or a V8. The gear ratio, what you're trying to do is bring the RPM back to the factory RPM. So when you go to a 40, it's a 538, a 37 is 513, 35 is 456. So you just step down, and all that's doing is bringing you back to stock. So we've got lots of tech talks on this subject as well that you can check out on YouTube or Facebook. And we've gone into them with charts and great detail. In fact, didn't we on our Tech Talk page just upload? Yes, so if you've ever been to our website, go to the company tab. The first drop down is Tech Talk. When you go to our Tech Talk page, scroll down a little bit, and there's a bunch of downloadable PDFs that are tons of information for you guys. Go through the list, pick out what you like, download it, and everything from shock setup to gear ratios to all kinds of stuff. So check it out.
The last one is gear, axle, locker, setup.
Perfect. Are you showing that on the screen right now?
Yeah.
No. Yeah?
No, not on this.
Okay.
Not on this screen.
So, all right. What else we got?
BKTJ 2003 TJ want front half Legends kit, 3-link with track bar, coilovers. Do you offer the components for that with the Curry front 44 instead of a 60?
Sure.
Is that non-standard setup? Don't need bigger than 35 tires right now.
Then you're set. So if you don't need to go very big on the tires, the standard width axle, you can go to coilovers, keep your coil springs, whatever you want. By the way, those 3-link front brackets are only $149. They're super cheap. And we offer a welded version for like $249, but so what? You got to weld them on the frame anyways. Then you can buy the links. You can buy them from us. You can go to your local store, whatever you want. Order aluminum ones, and then you order the axle side brackets, which I think are like 69 or 79 bucks a pair. And you are styling. Yes, you can buy all those parts separate. Look for them on our website. You can search under suspension. You can type in Legend. You can type in 3-link. Anything in we have a smart search box. Type in anything there and it'll pull it right up. If you still don't find what you like, call in. Guys are still there answering the phones. And by the way, all of the guys that are going to answer the phone are also running that same suspension. So they'll be happy to help you out. What else you got?
Our buddy Alan Alvarez.
Yeah, Alan.
Since I got your showroom TJ chassis, am I going to be able to do the stretch kit that you're doing to Bowtie?
Yes, you will be able to. So unfortunately, yours is powder coated, so you're gonna have to cut through that powder coat, but yes, you can definitely do it. So in fact, I think that kit, the production version of that kit showed up today. I'll make sure that I show that on Thursday, what that looks like, all the pieces. I'll lay out the kit. We're going to talk about roll cages on Thursday, and but I'll do that as our featured GenRight product. So yeah, you don't want to miss 2 days from now, Thursday's Tech Talk. It's going to be a great one. I'm going to give you a bunch of information, and I'm also going to announce another sale for the Labor Day weekend. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. What other questions?
Mo Kirkwood, how you looking on the delivery of Mickey Thompson 37-inch Baja Boss MTs?
I know we get deliveries. I see those tires going in and out of here all day long. I mean, there's tons and tons over there. Whether they're available or not, I don't know. But what I can tell you is this: if you're looking for whether it's Mickey Thompson tires or anything to buy from GenRight, get your order in. We don't even really quote delivery until there's an actual order, because it changes all the time based on how many. We're getting hundreds of orders in here a day for everything, right? For R1 brakes, for Mickey Thompson tires, for GenRight products like Vision X lights, like everything, right? So our guys are hustling out there in the warehouse, but it's hard to give anybody an accurate delivery till you've got an order. So, and I can tell you the fastest way to make sure you're going to get some product is to get your order in. So, yep, good question though. What else you got?
Zach Uptill, would it be a setback on a TJ build to go for that 115-inch wheelbase? I'm already over a year out. It looks like for the stretch, but maybe worth it for the wheelbase.
So, Zach, I don't know how much you've been paying attention. I think you're a regular, but I've got that brand new TJ to LJ kit coming, and that's where you're gonna slice it right behind the driver and passenger seat, and we stretch the entire cargo area, the corner guards, everything, and that turns it into a 115-inch wheelbase. You get a brand new frame section with a tracer, rear shock mounts in it that'll take a 2.5-inch shock. I mean, this is groundbreaking. Like, every guy with a TJ should be buying this for sure. I mean, you've instantly taken your TJ and updated it into what every guy wants to build. So to me, it's a no-brainer.
Thomas Urke chimed in, wait till you see my TJ, guys. Fair change.
So his is the first. He called and he's like, Tony, whatever I got to do, I want to be the first one to get this. So he's either already dropped off his Jeep or it's going to be dropped off soon, but he is #1 to get that TJ.
Numero uno.
Numero uno. Great customer.
Kent Wolf wants to know if we're doing a sale on the PRP sliders.
I don't think so. But you know what? You can always call in and sweet talk one of my sales guys, and maybe they'll give you a deal.
They're always giving shit away.
They're always giving deals. So.
Zach Uptill, I should have looked at the Growler more closely at Rock Junction. I'm confused on how the suspension stretch works on it frame-wise.
So since we're just a few days away from having this, I'm working on the website product page for this product, and it'll probably make a lot more sense once you're able to see all the pictures and everything that we did. If you want to reach out to me through Facebook Messenger, I can send you a few pictures of when we did Jamie's. I don't think the gallery shows the build, does it?
The gallery doesn't really show the build, but mine is nothing like. Well, it's close to.
I think it just explains like where you cut, how that piece fits in.
Yeah, I know a TJ is different.
A little bit different. I mean, it's still got the little form piece that goes in, and then the whole interior cargo area, like yours.
Oh, like the bed.
Yeah, I think that's what most people are concerned with. So by the way, we're going to offer the kit where you can do the exterior, the interior, and the frame 3 separate ways, because we were pretty sure there's some people that have already done their frame. We're pretty sure there's some people that are already back half their Jeep, right? They don't need the cargo area. So we were trying to give options on how to do this. And, obviously if you're just starting from scratch, you just do all 3 kits, and then you got the whole thing, so.
We got 2 minutes to go. Do you want to cover anything on the bow tie?
Well, do we have any more questions?
We do.
Okay, I'll answer questions. I mean,
okay.
I can talk about bow tie anytime. We can do another recap. I'm glad this inspired so many TJ, LJ guys. I'm stoked.
Let's see. Jeff Crace, what do you think of the Jeep Commando? Same wheelbase as an LJ and easy LS swap.
It is, but it's wide, right? You got sheet metal hanging out on all the corners. Now, I have seen guys that have put in the extra time, dovetailed it, really done a lot of work. I don't know if you're up for that. It's an easy LS swap because it's pre-smog, and yeah, I mean it's a cool. Like when they're done, people are super stoked to see those things out there. So I would encourage you to do it. What else you got?
Larry White said he was the guy with the flame Jeep.
As part of the Tri-County Social Club. Nice.
But he sold it.
Oh!
So he no longer owns that Jeep.
And now you're trying to do a 2-door JK? What? So by the way, I'm a fan of the 4-door JK. I love that 116. When we do it, it's 118-inch wheelbase. And you're gonna just feel like you're on another planet compared to what you've been previously driving. So might be too late. You might already own that 2-door JK. So, but we make a stretch kit for that. It's a 5-inch in the rear, 2-inch in the front. stretch kit for the JK, and we've got lots of pictures of that on our website. You can also go over and check the gallery for that as well.
Rick Harrington, is there any way to put the PRP seats in the rear without having to straddle the X-bar on the cage and not hit your head on the roll bar? Cross member up top with your head. JKU with twin batteries mounted behind the passenger seats.
Okay, so I don't know if you've seen mine, but I run our rear seat brackets. Then I run a PRP UTV seat. Side by side, okay? The seat is smaller and lower. It sinks way down. And the only difference is that the bottom section under your thigh is a little shorter. But I'm telling you, it's like magic getting in and out of there. You got a lot more room. When I pre-run for KOH or even on race day, I've got 4 adults in there and we're going over 100 across everything. And I don't hear a single complaint back there. And you know, it's not a big deal. I would highly recommend it. I've got a lot of pictures on our website if you go to that seat bracket, and you can check it all out. And by the way, I have my batteries under there too. I think I show that, and you just flip the seats forward, access to the batteries. Again, if you guys aren't looking at every single part we offer, you're doing yourself a disfavor. I live, eat, and breathe this. I design every part to be the best, the most functional, everything about it. You know, and if you don't find it on our website, call. Okay, we are here every day. We're totally available, and as you can tell, we love talking about Jeeps. So, you know, my favorite subject. What else you got?
Okay, we have a jillion questions, and it's already 5:03.
Well, I mean, we can go for a few more minutes.
Okay.
If people are on, that's great. You know, that's what we're here for.
Chuck Williams, what backspacing for Trail Ready HD 20 times 9.5 on Curry 60s?
Well, if they're 70 inches wide, you're going to want 4.5-inch backspace. What else you got?
Jeff Perkins, do you think it's a good idea to stretch the front of a TJ 7-inch?
Well, okay. So earlier I talked about using our twisted pitman arm to move the front axle 4 inches forward. That's as far as you can go by still retaining the steering box in the factory location. Some guys will go further, but then you've got to go to full hydro, and that's really an off-road only configuration. A lot of people are misled that full hydro is more powerful than a steering box with a ram. They are misled. That is not true. A steering box and a ram assist are more powerful than full hydro. So the only reason people go to full hydro is because they can't physically make the linkage work anymore. Okay, what else you got?
Zach Guptill asked if scrub radius is the big reason for 70-inch wide axles.
It is, yes, because we're pulling the tire and wheel way back over the bearing, and then that way you don't break the traction. So, and by the way, that's, like I explained earlier, that's been increasing over the years. So years ago, when I first got into this, 63.5 inch, 63.5 was the width, but you had to have a really backspaced wheel. So then it went to 65, then it went to 67, then it went to 70. So yeah, it's just where it's at, and push that wheel way over the bearings. It's not only does it reduce scrub radius, but it's a lot easier on all the components. So what else you got?
Colby Scroggins, what do you think of narrow Johnny joint, double adjustable aluminum short control arms and front and rear track bars for us JK guys who can't go elite yet?
I think that's a great option. The Curry Rock Jock kit is a great kit. We sell a version of that that's like fully optioned out with shocks and everything. I think if you're looking for high quality, you know, getting yourself the genuine Johnny joints that don't, you know, the part of the reason is that the range of motion, once that's exceeded with a standard joint or, you know, a lot of these guys are using vulcanized rubber, which I think is total junk. Once you exceed that range, you've just trashed them. And those are what I call one-trip kits. You go one time on the Rubicon and you come out of there and that thing is clapped out. It's all loose and getting death wobble, and Debbie thinks that's funny.
No, I like the little hip action when you said clapped out and loose.
Yeah, it's loosey-goosey.
Frederico Borda, LJ 2004.
She can't stop laughing.
LJ 2004, Dana 44, front and rear Rock Jock 60 on 37s with beadlocks, OEM outers. I'm doing R1 slotted rotors with off-road pads.
Nice.
Are not available from them. Can you recommend which ones I should go with? Thanks, Tony.
Because he wanted to go with the R1s, but he can't get them.
I guess the off-road pads are not available.
Oh, the off-road pads.
Yeah.
Call in and talk to my guys. We might have them in stock. That would be my first suggestion. If not, I would go with, they offer 4 different grades in that. And I would go to the one that's just away from that, which I think is their towing, like high grip towing one. And that should be fine until you run through those, and then you can switch the off-roads down the road. Great question.
Leaf Baron, how much lift does Bowtie have? I'm running 39s with your tube fenders, just like Bowtie.
Yeah, so I would call this a 4-inch lift. And, nowadays, like when we build a JK Elite, we're more in the 3-inch range. But this is our Legend kit, right? This is the builder's kit. When you go to the Tracer, it sits lower. So the Tracer is a completely different design. Remember, the Tracer was reverse engineered off Jordan's 4500 class KOH race car. So it sat very low. It was built with an LS3 and a Turbo 400 with Curry axles. We had that thing just slammed down on the ground, and part of that was how we optimized all the up travel. So we've duplicated that with the Tracer. This doesn't have quite as much up travel, so that means the vehicle has to sit a little taller. I know we've talked about the differences between the Legend and the Tracer. I think we even have videos on that, but you can do a little bit of homework on that on our website. But this is it's a little taller to get in and out of than most people prefer. But man, if you go to the Rubicon or Johnson Valley, this thing just cruises over the rocks like they're not even there. So, because you've got the extra ground clearance. So,
2 people asked if 513s are if that would be weak in a Dana 44.
That is pushing a Dana 44. So, I've always got to walk that line. When you ask me what the right gear ratio is for a tire, that's the right gear ratio. That's why I also said, if you can't do that, go 488, but I wouldn't go anything less than that, okay? Now, if you're an automatic, you're gonna get a little bit of wiggle room because the torque converter can offset a little bit of that. And then a 488 is more doable if you're driving an automatic, okay?
It's 5:10 and viewers are ready for happy hour. So you've got several questions to answer offline.
Later. Okay. All right. Awesome. I thank you, everybody. I'm super grateful for everybody watching tonight and asking so many questions. Don't forget to miss Thursday. I've got roll cages as my topic. I've got special offers that I'm going to be telling you about. And it's going to be another great show. I know we're going to be ripping through everything. And at some point, we'll have to talk about other stuff on the Bowtie. Maybe in a couple of weeks, we can get back to that. So anyways, thanks again, and we will see you on Thursday.